Hey everybody, welcome back to JT Channel and welcome to my review of WrestleMania 41 Night 1. Now, I'm sure people that keep up with my channel are a little surprised by this because I thought I wasn't going to be able to do this until like Wednesday. But in a bit of good luck, good news, bad news kind of thing, the big job that I had to do today and tomorrow got pushed back. It's kind of canceled for now, but I'm not going to run you guys through that. It may get rescheduled for the future, but that's bad news as far as the fact that I want to work, but it's good news because it means I get to watch and review these shows like I wanted to. For those of you who are stopping by because it's WrestleMania season, welcome to JT Channel. There's nothing fancy about this. I'm just recording myself chatting on my phone camera. But stick around a while. Check out all my other content. I play video games and talk a lot. And I get very angry playing, any video game, really. But we are here to talk about WrestleMania 41 Night 1. It was very, very good in my opinion. I know some people think it wasn't as good as it could have been, which kind of feels like the norm, if that makes any sense. It really seems like since WWE pushed to 2-night WrestleManias, Night 1 is always good and Night 2 is always great. There were some great things on Night 1, and this is just my personal opinions. I'm not going to sit here and grade the matches. I don't give stars. I don't give ups or downs. I don't put them on a scale. I just tell you what I thought, and I tell you about important spots if I can think of any. As far as anything else outside of WrestleMania, like WWE purchasing AAA, TNA Unbreakable, the NXT show, the GCW show, all that stuff, I've made my thoughts on it elsewhere. I'm not going to sit here and review every single wrestling show. And as far as the WWE AAA thing, I cannot wait to talk about that more in the future. But the first thing that happened on WrestleMania 41 Night 1 was about 60,000 people and me and my wife, and we tried to get my daughter. We're going yeet because it was Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, first match of the night. Apparently they got revealed online, but I didn't want to know. I wanted to see for myself. And what? But it kind of went the way I expected it to. I did think it would go a little longer, but they put that time in better places, in my opinion, which we'll get to. It was good. It was fine. It was every other Jey Uso Gunther match you've ever seen, probably with a little more time on it because it's WrestleMania. They got their spots in. Lots of super kicks, lots of spears, lots of Jey Uso flying, and lots of internet crybabies screaming online right now because Jey Uso won. What did they expect? I will admit that WWE did a good job of making me believe that maybe, just maybe. I mean, it's WWE. You never know. How many times during Roman Reigns' reign of terror, his 1,500-day title reign or whatever, did we think he was going to lose? And he just didn't. So it was really good. I had a good time. The finish, I can understand where people are coming from. I don't mind that Gunther tapped out to Jey Uso. I think that is a huge rub to give to Jey Uso. I'm not going to get into this argument of, well, someone else should have done it. Jey Uso didn't deserve to win that way. Blah, 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 blah. You have to look at it from a story perspective, the way Gunther always chokes people out, including Jey, and what he did to Jimmy. Jey Uso winning with a sleeper, it makes sense. The thing that bothers me is people going, who wins with a sleeper hold? Have you ever watched wrestling before, like, the 90s, or even in the 90s? People used to win with sleeper holds all the time. That's what the Cobra Clutch is. That's what the crossface chicken wing is. I hate to sit here and, break your view of beautiful pro wrestling, but there are so many moves that are basically just sleeper holds. You're just trying to put someone to sleep, make them pass out. So, and I think the Coquina Clutch kind of qualifies as a sleeper hold. So, a regular sleeper hold beating Gunther, sure, we can argue about it till the cows come home. Somebody bring back my cows. The only complaint I have, like I said, maybe I wish there was a little more time. Sorry, I had to pause for a second, but yeah, a little more time, but it was fine in the confines. And I do admit that Gunther tapped pretty fast. It would have made more sense for him to struggle for a whole minute or so, which is a long time to be in a sleeper hold. And it's hard to describe how I feel about the actual tap out. Gunther tapping out is obviously huge, but people are like, oh, he shouldn't have tapped. And I'm like, would you have been happy if he passed out? No, you would have been mad that he passed out. You're mad Jey Uso won. Just say you're mad Jey Uso won. I'm not. I love Jey Uso. This has been so cool for him. I know people are like, I don't want to say mad, but they're saying that he's a mid-carder or whatever. God, I hate these phrases. I hate them. I wish we could just delete these words out of the pro wrestling lexicon, if you will. But he worked really hard, and clearly he's over. And this is something I thought of. I didn't write this down in my notes, but I do remember thinking this. The people out there saying that are mad at him because he's popular because of a catchphrase, I hope you weren't a fan of Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, John Cena. They were all had popular catchphrases. Like Rusev, remember Rusev Day? That was a catchphrase. LA Knight, yeah, that's a catchphrase. Like, y'all are making up excuses not to like Jey Uso. He deserved this. I hope that his championship reign is treated well. That's another concern I have coming out of this. I don't want them to treat it like the Rey Mysterio world title win. I want him to have good feuds, good matches, and all that stuff. And there's plenty of superstars on Monday Night Raw to make that happen. And maybe we get the rematch down the line. Everybody mad about Jey Uso being champion. Maybe he only holds the title till SummerSlam, which is 2 nights. And he loses it maybe back to Gunther or to someone else. You know? Who knows? Overall, it was a really good match. It was the ending everyone expected. I was super happy about it. And, yeet. Oh, I had to pass out what my brother said. He called him the World Heavy Yeet Champion. So, live with that. Up next was the New Day and the War Raiders, another match where I think the right person won. I don't remember all my picks and predictions, although I do have it right here. It's on the same paper. I picked and predicted the New Day to win this. It was fine. It was good. I do have I'll talk about the match and I'll talk about how I feel about this match versus the SmackDown Tag Team title match. The War Raiders are really good. I love seeing how far they've come. The fact that they're the War Raiders again. And this match was, how is it going to be bad? It was the New Day and the War Raiders. A lot of really good spots as far as like the dives from the War Raiders. And early on, the match, I kept making jokes because it seemed like we were going to get a squash match. The New Day did get kind of squashed, literally. Because Ivar smashed him against the LED board that's replaced the front apron. And then they did this like double team where Ivar's supposed to do like an elbow drop or a splash. And he kind of just landed on Kofi or Xavier's head. And I was like, well, they were squashed all right. But in the end, they cheated. I can't remember what the exact move was, but I believe Xavier pinned Ivar and Kofi held his foot outside the ring, which is one of my favorite things in wrestling. I'm being pinned, my shoulders are on the ground, right? All I gotta do is this to kick out, but someone's holding my foot, so I can't. It was great. It was a heel move, and they of course grabbed the belts and ran off. So that'll continue on. I really feel like the heel New Day is building momentum finally. It was a really rough start after one of the best heel turns ever. People were comparing it to Hogan and the NWO and all that. Like, remember that? People were throwing garbage at the ring, and a lot of people were saying, oh, this is the new era's version of that. That being when the New Day turned on Big E and became bad guys. And then WWE didn't do jack with it for like 2 months. And then they started to pick up and do more and more and more. Although the promos were great. But this just felt like the right decision. New Day beating Eric and Ivar by being dickheads. Makes sense. Now they're the 12-time tag team champions, which is a record, I believe. And I'm excited to see what they do next. I really am. It's another match that was fine. I do think the opener was better, in my opinion, which is fine. That's how WWE books WrestleMania. They book like a big, huge match, big, huge moment, and then they'll usually book something to kind of calm you down a little bit. Fans were into everything, so don't think that even worked. But yeah, so I picked and predicted the New Day. I was right. Next up was Jade and Naomi. I didn't predict anybody to win this one because I was just unsure of who I thought would win. But I picked... Who did I pick? Did I pick Jade? Yeah, I picked Jade. This was a great match. These two really did a lot. And this is another match. I'm going to say this a lot, and I apologize. The main event was given out for half an hour. I do feel like they could have taken a little time off of that and put it here, because these two really, they were shining throughout this match. Jade Cargill got a fun little entrance where like a local weatherman was doing the weather. I thought that was kind of fun. But, I mean, Jade and Naomi, it was never going to be bad. Jade did a lot of really cool power things. Naomi dove at her and she caught her in a suplex. I know I've seen that before, but it's really rare. Like, you almost never see it, and Jade did it at WrestleMania, so come on. But the spot that I will hold on to for as long as I can is Jade had her up in an electric chair, and she popped her up, turned around, caught her, and dropped her in a powerbomb. And it just looked so effortless, and it takes two to tango. You know, she couldn't have done that without Naomi. Naomi probably, like, helped a little bit, but maybe not. Maybe Jade really did just throw her in the air and spin around. In the end, though, Jade hits Jaded, pins Naomi, 1, 2, 3. I said this yesterday to my brother and anybody else who would listen. Jade Cargill is a star. She's not a star in the making. She is just a star. She belongs on WrestleMania. She deserved that win. I don't know what's next for her. Night 2 is going to have a lot to do with that, I think. I think if win, lose, or draw for Bianca Belair tonight will maybe forecast what's coming next, because I would love to see Bianca and Jade one-on-one someday. Maybe even at WrestleMania, but we'll see if they wait that long. That might be something that takes place at, like, SummerSlam. Like I said, SummerSlam's 2 nights, so I know it didn't seem like I'm talking about this match much, but once again, it was kind of what you expected. I didn't predict either one, but I'm such a big Jade Cargill fan. Every time her music hits, I get excited. The very, very first time I saw her on AEW television years ago, I was like, man, I don't know what it is, but I like this chick. And she went, what was it, 50-0, 60-0 or something in AEW before she was beaten by Chris Statlander. And then I think she just, like, had one more match and then left, and now WWE's treating her like the star she is. So Jade Cargill beats Naomi. Good stuff. Controversy time. Up next was El Grande Americano, who was definitely not Chad Gable, taking on Rey Fenix. Now, it was supposed to be Rey Mysterio. On Friday, he got hurt. I don't know what happened. I was watching SmackDown, but I also have a wife, a daughter, a pregnant wife, a daughter, and pets, and a million other things going on at all times. So I think I just missed the spot where he got hurt, but he's legitimately hurt. And he had to be replaced, and he was replaced by Rey Fenix. And this was never going to be bad. I'm just going to say Chad Gable. I'm not going to sit here and say El Grande Americano every time I have to talk about him. But, of course, Chad Gable in a mask versus Rey Fenix was going to be good. I made this clear on multiple occasions in videos, on social media, even just talking to my wife. This storyline, in my opinion, has already petered out. It was fun. While it was supposed to be, in my opinion, a quick story. And we've seen those in wrestling before, where there's a storyline that is clearly not supposed to last very long. She's supposed to ramp up and drop. And that's what I figured this storyline was. El Grande Americano, Chad Gable, would work his way to WrestleMania and lose and get unmasked, or he would get his mask taken off during the match. And Michael Cole was great last night. I cannot wait to hear him on the call tonight. But that's what I thought would happen. And it didn't. El Grande Gable put that piece of metal in his mask. Rey Fenix kicked him in the head. He hurt his ankle. Then he headbutted him. Then he headbutted him. And then he headbutted him. And then he won. And I wasn't mad that Chad Gable got a win at WrestleMania. I wouldn't have minded that as long as he still got unmasked. But now I feel like we're just biding our time with this, and we don't need to. Especially since now I'll talk about the AAA thing, and I didn't think about this until after WrestleMania when I was reading everyone else's reactions. Having a fake luchador beat a real, like, great luchador right in front of the people that own the company you just bought is not a good look. So I was a little upset about that. I'm a little bummed out that this story just isn't over. Maybe it'll happen on Raw. I'm kind of hopeful that something happens between, like, this video and Monday Night Raw where he gets... I just lost my train of thought. My phone went off. Where he gets unmasked, and we would know it's Gable, and it'd be like, oh, I felt like that'd be good to do at WrestleMania, but what do I know? El Grande beats Rey Fenix. Not happy. I'm fine with Chad Gable winning. I just wish something would have happened where he could have gotten unmasked. Okay, next up, right? up to this point, all the matches have been fine, but none of the matches have made me go, woo, like I was hoping they would. Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair did that for me. At this point, easily the match of the night, and when WrestleMania is completely over, it's probably going to remain within like the top 5 matches out of all the 14 that are taking place this weekend. It was so good. They both got cool entrances. Tiffany got to come out of a Mattel Barbie box. By the way, the amount of sponsors. There are 12 sponsors on the ring. And there's 9 on the mat and 3 on the turnbuckles. It is ridiculous. But she came out of a Barbie box. Charlotte came out of a car. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just realized I messed up. And I apologize for that. When I was writing down my notes, I must have skipped over this, so my apologies. I completely skipped over LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. That's what I get for making my notes in a hurry. So if you're watching this and typing in the comments, you forgot the U.S. title match, I just remembered it, and I'm too far into this video to try to start over. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. Okay, so this was really good as well. LA Knight came out in a car. That's what reminded me. I looked down like, wait, I haven't talked about that. LA Knight came out in a car. Jacob Fatu had a really bad Spirit Halloween wolf mask on. I love Spirit. That's not a dig at them, but it wasn't good. You shouldn't have worn that. Bad. Moving on. This went, once again, kind of exactly how you expected it to. LA Knight did really good. There was an awesome moment I'll talk about in a second. But Jacob Fatu doesn't know how to have bad matches. You know what I mean? Like, he's just too good at what he does. And the spot I want to talk about is Jacob Fatu went for his springboard moonsault, which is just the PME, but I love knowing that. I mean, it's the BME, the best moonsault ever that Christopher Daniels did. But in WWE, Fatu doesn't have a name for it. Tiffany Stratton does the same thing, and it's called the prettiest moonsault ever. So Jacob Fatu hits the prettiest moonsault ever. But he went to do it, and he did the double springboard. And when he came down, LA Knight popped up and like tried to catch him in the BFT. It looked really good. Very similar to like Orton trying to do something like that. Sorry. But it looked really good, the midair catch BFT. Of course, Jacob Fatu kicked out. Eventually, it was just too much. Sorry, I had to go deal with stuff. But too much Jacob Fatu, I suppose. Before he finally, I think he hit like 3 moonsaults. He hit at least 2. And beat LA Knight. We got a new United States champion. Once again, completely fine match. The outcome that most people expected and most people wanted. This is just the beginning for Jacob Fatu. It really is. I'm very excited to see what happens from here on out with him, because you've got to think he's going to hold that title for a long time. Like, who is going to beat Jacob Fatu? Nobody I can think of on the top of my head, except maybe Solo Sikoa. I mean, maybe they fall out, and I mean, he shouldn't beat him, but I digress. A good match, perfect ending, the right winner, etc., etc. Now, I'm sure I got that out of order, and I do apologize. Like I said, I was making my notes in kind of a hurry. Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair. Like I said, they both had fun entrances, and this was awesome. I think it went just under 20 minutes. It didn't feel like it, and it also did. I don't know if that makes any sense. It felt like it was one of those long matches, but that you could enjoy no matter how long it went. And lost my train of thought. They definitely could have gone a few more minutes, and I would not have minded. This match did not outstay its welcome at 20 minutes. I think it was really, really good. They had similar styles, so it was very, reversal heavy and hitting each other with crazy stuff, and they were beating the hell out of each other. I don't know if they were in the back and they were like, look, everyone thinks we hate each other in real life. We've had this, that promo from a few weeks ago, so we need to make this look as real as possible. Or if they really started just punching each other in the face. I have no idea. But it was a really good match. Lots of awesome moments, big spots, lots of moonsaults, high flying moves, and seriously, just punching each other in the face. But in the end, Tiffany Stratton retains her championship with the PME on Charlotte Flair. I have no notes. This was really good. I do have a problem with I haven't seen it much, but the very, very small amount of people that I've seen call it a botch fest, I don't remember them botching a single move. So when you were watching, you must have been doing this, like not looking the entire time, or doing this in front of your face like John Cena, so you couldn't see half the stuff. I didn't see any problems with the execution of the match. They both played their roles perfectly. All the kickouts were really good. The figure eight stuff was awesome. It was just a really good match. Like, once it was over, me and my brother, who were talking throughout the show, couldn't help but say that, like I said earlier, at the time, it was the match of the night by a landslide, in my opinion. Like, all the other matches were fine, but Tiffany and Charlotte went out there, stole the show. They knew what was coming after them. They knew what had come before. Right winner, in my opinion. I predicted Charlotte was going to win because it's WWE and it's Charlotte. I was wrong, and I'm happy I was wrong. Tiffany deserved this moment at WrestleMania. Fantastic. Genuinely fantastic. I think I even said it's 5 stars. 6.25 in the Tokyo Dome. Right. Main event time. CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. I was even wearing my CM Punk shirt. I have not been quiet about this. I've been very, very vocal about the fact that I love these 3 men. I've been watching them for the better part of half my life. I've been watching these 3. I've always enjoyed them. I've never not liked them. Even when they turned heel, loved them no matter what. This match was absolutely brilliant. All 3 men got a cool entrance. Seth's entrance, I didn't notice this until someone pointed it out, actually came with like layers. He came out in like this big black, like crazy outfit with a flamethrower. Then the lights went out and they came back on. He was in a white outfit, and he had the white trunks on that someone said he hadn't worn those since he defended the title twice. So like each outfit was reminiscent of another character, or another version of him anyway. With the white robe was like Messiah. The big bulky stuff was like old architect Seth Rollins. It was just so good. Roman Reigns came out. They had these like mini screens. They were still big, but they were above the ramp all night, where you could like see different superstars throughout the show. And during his entrance, a bunch of them came down and like landed on the ramp as he walked past them, showcasing all the members of the Anoa'i family. And then for CM Punk, they showed a video with his old theme song, "This Fire Burns" by Killswitch Engage, showing his old career and his history with Paul Heyman. And then of course, Living Color played him to the ring, which I thought was great. This match was brilliant. This was actually a 5-star match. As much as I love the match that came before it, this was the match of the night. For me, one of the best matches I've ever seen. Before people start screaming at me, you gotta remember what I've been saying this whole time, how much I love these 3. It was put together really well. Before the match even started, CM Punk came in the ring. He was the last one to come out, and he looked at Seth and winked at him, and I lost it. I was like, that's amazing. It's just, come on, too much. But there was plenty of, tripled moves and a lot of back and forth because everybody hates everybody. I can't think of any major spots off the top of my head. There was lots of Punk's got Seth on his shoulders and gets speared, or the other way around, and Seth Rollins doing a frog splash to get a pin broken up. There's lots of dives. Roman dove into the crowd at one point. That was cool. Rollins and Punk did fight into the crowd. They were hitting each other with steel trash cans and steel chairs and throwing each other on concrete. And it was just, they did what they did. And then eventually, I'm trying to help you. Roman almost hit a fan. I thought it was funny the way where he landed. The fans had not backed up quite far enough. Another good spot was it looked like Roman and Seth were about to shield powerbomb Punk through one of the announce tables, which the announce tables looked really cool. They were curved because it's Vegas. They looked different, and they were going to shield powerbomb Punk through the table, and then Roman smacked Seth one, knocked him down, powerbomb Punk through one announce table by himself, and then powerbomb Seth through another, threw Seth in the ring and hit him with a spear, and Seth kicked out. That was one of the best near falls I've ever seen. I bought it hook, line, and sinker. I lunged off of my couch. I was like, no way. Are you kidding me? Oh. One of the best parts of the entire match, besides the finish, we'll get to it, was... Hold on. Anyway, was when CM Punk hit a GTS on Seth Rollins, and his cell, he was just bounced against the ropes. While he was doing that, Roman hit a spear on Punk, and before Roman could get up, Rollins, with whatever he had left, hit a stomp on Roman. It was so good. Me speaking about it does not do it justice. It looked incredible. After that, actually, I think that's what led to the finish, or the lead up to the finish. Paul Heyman went to grab a steel chair. Both Punk and Roman were looking at him. He looked at Reigns and said, "No, I can't." Handed it to Punk. He got in the ring with him. He helped Punk up and was like, "Take down Reigns. I'm your best friend, blah, blah, blah." And then he punched CM Punk in the balls. Now, I said that I saw that coming. I was like, I knew it. He was never going to betray his tribal chief. At this juncture, I had convinced myself that I was smart. I was like, I knew it. He's the wise man. He'll always be the wise man. And he even got down on his knees with the chair and was like, "My tribal chief, blah, blah, blah." And then he was screaming at CM Punk saying, "You made me do this. Why would I turn to my tribal chief? That's my tribal chief." I was like, yep. One's to the sky. Let's do this. And he gave Roman the chair. Seth was getting up. It was going to be a rerun of everything we've done for years now. The chair shot to the back, the Shield chair shot. And then he punched Roman Reigns in the balls. And I was flabbergasted, bamboozled, hornswoggled, shocked. Any other words you can think of. My jaw was nailed to the floor. Ironic, I'm using a nail pun on Easter. And Seth just stood there. You knew it. It was clearly a plan. And then he put his hand out, and Paul Heyman handed him the chair. He did the Shield chair shot to Roman Reigns one more time. I think he stomped both him and Punk. I think he pinned Roman and got the 1, 2, 3. And now Paul Heyman is aligned with Seth Rollins. I almost fell out of the shot there. I cannot believe that finish. It was awesome. People online before WrestleMania were saying, "I bet Paul goes with Seth," but most people were telling them they were wrong. And now there's people saying, "Oh, I saw that coming." The people that are very suddenly saying they saw that coming did not. Almost nobody saw that coming. The few people that did, good on you. I mean, that's cool. I definitely didn't see it coming. Clearly the crowd in Las Vegas didn't see it coming either. It was just shocking. It was one of those things. That's a WrestleMania moment. That is a WrestleMania moment. Not Seth winning. Seth winning is huge. Do not get me wrong. But the moment where he low blows, Paul Heyman low blows Roman Reigns. Him low blowing and turning on CM Punk was kind of, I don't want to say obvious, but I kind of saw that coming. Like, I just felt it. I'm like, there's no way he's going to turn on his tribal chief, right? And when he did, when he low blowed CM Punk, I was like, yeah, see, that makes sense. He's going to still be the wise man. But when he turned on Roman, I was like, no way. No way. No fucking way. And you can tell how shocked I am, because I think that's the first time I've swore this whole video. But I was absolutely shocked. And I cannot wait to see what this is. I'm kind of hoping that Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins are working together, because Seth has like a certain level of respect for Paul Heyman. Because remember, he told Heyman, CM Punk is using you. Roman Reigns is using you. Solo Sikoa used you. Seth has been trying to get Heyman to realize that these people don't care about him. And I mean, I know he said some horrible things to Paul on Raw, but that could have been a ruse as well. I'm hoping that's the storyline, but I'm willing to hear whatever, you know? I'm willing to hear what they say, but it would make sense that Paul finally understood what Seth was saying, and now him and Seth have a respect for one another / each other. That's how that happened. And now Seth Rollins is a Paul Heyman guy. What hasn't Seth Rollins done? If you cannot tell, I fucking loved this match. This is the real 5 stars, 6 star, 12 star, whatever, golden up, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10 matchup of the night. The storytelling was really good. The spots were amazing. I was a little worried the match might go long for storytelling purposes, but no. There were very little lulls in this match. The longest time that there wasn't any fighting was the build-up to the the announce table power bombs, which was basically the lead up to the finish. Like, that's when the finish started, was when Seth and Roman started talking about, Seth was trying to get Roman to do the power bombs, the Shield power bomb to Punk. Right about that time, that's when the finish started, because it was the power bombs. Well, not really. Sorry, but that had to be like, I don't know, it's top 10 finishes ever, especially when you consider like the build to the match, what happened on Raw where Roman pie-faced Heyman and Punk came out and there was all that. And Seth was standing tall on Raw. And you know the age-old wrestling thing is whoever stands tall last, like right before you get to WrestleMania, usually loses. Like, you know, Cody Rhodes has dropped John Cena twice recently. Just saying. But that is WrestleMania Night 1. I'm sorry, this video is probably all over the place with the pausing, trying to deal with stuff. 2 things I need to apologize for. 1, that I almost forgot about the U.S. title match. I'll take my notes slower next time. And 2, when I was just talking about the main event, I got all that mixed up with the lead up to the finish. The lead up to the finish was when everybody hit their finish. When they hit their finishing moves, the GTS Spear Stomp, that was really the lead up to the finish, although the announce table spots were still brilliant. Let me know what you thought. I lost my train of thought. But thank you everybody so much for watching. Like I said, if you're a new viewer that's just stopping by all these reviews, I thank you for joining me. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of WrestleMania Night 1. And are you looking forward to WrestleMania Night 2? I am for sure. I still think the Fatal 4-Way match for the Intercontinental Championship could be the best match of the weekend. No matter how much I loved that main event last night. Who do you think Randy Orton's opponent's going to be? Who do you think Lyra Valkyria's partner is going to be? If you don't know about that, you can look that up too. And yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And, you know, have a good Easter, WrestleMania weekend, 420, whatever you're doing today, just enjoy it. Don't forget to head to WBBY.com, D-U-B-B-Y, energy.gg, not .com, .gg, and enter JT channel in all caps, all one word, to get 10% off your order. Jitterless energy drink. I think they're sugar-free as well. I think I mentioned that. And yeah, keep enjoying WrestleMania weekend. I will be back on Monday for the Night 2 review. I have to work in the morning, but it won't be long enough for me to miss out on a review. So until next time, this is JT Channel. I am JT. I will see you before the Raw after WrestleMania.